Welcome to Social Work Sunday Tea. I am Shakia Houston. Today is June 13th, 2021. It's a great day to be alive and well. We have very special guests. Make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We're live and in color. We have special guests. Dr. A, you can go first, introducing yourself and all that good stuff.
Hello, my name is Jamari Akins. I'm a licensed child psychologist working out of Omaha, Nebraska. Again, I work with children, teenagers, and families in the greater Omaha area, working on issues such as anxiety, depression, ADHD, learning difficulties. Born and raised in the state of Texas, and I'm excited to be here, excited to talk about this very important topic today with you.
All righty. Damon. Well, Vince, come on, Vince. Go ahead. Go next.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Vince Davis Jr. The second. I'm a native of Chicago, Illinois, born and raised, Southside, Gresham, Inglewood, you name it, that's me. I am currently learning technology coordinator for McDowell Elementary School, Chicago Public Schools. I've been in education roughly 12, 13 years. I am a musician. I play organ and piano, and I've played for several artists and currently play at Bright Star Church under the leadership of Pastor Chris Harris. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I have 3 children. You guys know what that is. And beautiful wife, Kimberly Stovall Davis.
All righty. I'll get you back on. Okay, Damon, my cousin.
Hey, y'all. I'm Damon Avenger, licensed social worker, social emotional coach. Y'all know me. I don't really talk too much. I'm sorry.
Cousin. All right. Thank you. So the topic for today, the state of Black men. I just want to talk about this because it's so important, so relatable to what's going on right now. I want to ask each of you the question, what is it like being a Black man in America? Vince, you can go. It didn't matter who can go.
I was going to say, as I reflected on this question when you sent it out earlier, the thing that continued to come to mind for me was pressure. Pressure to show up a certain way, pressure to perform, pressure to look and speak and act and show up a certain way. And so I just feel like there's this constant need to be a certain way. And, like they say, pressure bursts pipe, but it also makes diamonds, So I think it really depends on how you take the situation and how you respond to it. But that's the one thing that comes to mind for me is just so much pressure to be a certain way.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that, Dr. A. For me, it's hard. It's more like it's nervous. A lot of you're worried about being an African American male in America. Just don't have that luxury of waking up and not really worrying about our life. Right, get in the car, hope somebody don't run up on me, and try to take my car. That kind of thing. So it's the nervousness of being an African American or a Black male in America today.
Absolutely.
It's the most hated, emulated, respected, and feared person in the world, because everybody wants to be a Black man, but nobody wants to carry the weight of being a Black man. Mm-hmm. And like Vince and Dr. Akins said, you're under a lot of pressure. But the pressure doesn't come from just outside races, but it comes from your own people. Because no one hates Black men more than Black men. Unfortunately, we're our own worst enemy. But I wouldn't be anybody else if I wasn't. If I had to be someone else, I would never be anybody else other than a Black man.
Yeah. Yeah. Marcus Garvey said most of the trouble I've had in advancing the cause of the race has come from Negroes. So it's happening now. Back then, back then and now. So I I would say that, do you feel as though you guys are living in a box, a restricted box? Because out of, you said that you don't know if, you have to act a certain way, you have to, be a certain way, or, you're out of fear. So do you feel like as though you're living in a box?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that box is a constantly changing box depending on the environment. I'm sure, other brothers here can also attest to how, if you show up in a work environment and you're the only black man of color there, there's a different type of presentation than if you're with your homeboys or when you're with your family. And that box that we have to fit into, it changes depending on who's around and the environment. And again, going back to this pressure thing, like it's having to constantly figure out who I have to be in this environment. And I can't just show up and just be Jamari and be accepted. It's stressful. It absolutely is. Like, you just don't know how people are going to respond to you, how you present yourself, your language, having to constantly code switch throughout the day. Like, it's stressful. For sure.
The box that you talk about, Dr. A, and Miss Houston, I think about going to the gym or my off days. It's like, am I really off if I have to put on the same clothes that I usually wear to go to work to look like I'm important, or somebody's not fear that I might be, a certain kind of person because I am black. That's one of the things that I think is frightening as well. When we're off, are we ever really off? Can I just put a jogging suit on, put my hoodie on, and just go chill with the homies? Am I really off, or do I always have to look like Brother Damien with the bow tie on? And I mean, when do we ever have that moment where we're off? And I think that's the box that it's frightening. But
Yeah, Damien.
Right. And you said it best. This is my uniform. And I say this to people all the time. I dress like this because sometimes when I worked in the school, I don't think they respected me for the professional that I was when I came in with a hoodie and a t-shirt on. So I had to dress a certain way to get their respect. And I never changed. I still was the same individual. My language skills never changed, but I had to present myself. The package had to be presented in a different way so they could respect me more. And like you said, we can never turn off who we really are. We have to code switch with different people, and it's a difficult job at times to remember who you are and who you're with, so you don't let the wrong side come out. I can never be Damon outside at work. I'm always Mr. Avenger, so it's hard. That box sometimes is suffocating.
Yeah. Wow.
I think even preparing for this talk, like this box issue came up, like I knew that my title was going to be Dr. Jamari Akins, and like there's a certain image or certain response that people are going to have to that. And I was thinking, like, do I need to like dress up, put the tie on, look presentable? And then I was like, I'm in my home, I'm in my house,
Right.
like I'm going to dress comfortable, and I have to work on being okay with just showing up and being Jamari and just accepting that people are going to accept it or not.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like that.
That's amazing, because I have a friend who literally works in education, in higher education, and literally drops their title as doctor because it's so much that comes behind it. And I'm like, but you earned it. Yeah, just right. I'm like, oh my God, that's another box.
Yeah.
Another box. So
Yeah. That's too much. I'm not dropping nothing. I'm gonna be me at the end of the day. But I'm glad that you said that. I don't know, because I'm just, not to speak on me, but just being free. I don't want anchors or or things to hold me down, because it's like, okay, if I can't be me, then it's like, okay. But I understand the flip side of it. What are some of the challenges that you have to face or experiences you have to face being a Black man? Like have you encountered any type of racism or, things like that?
It's always going to be there. It's it's the fear of the black man. And I hate to say it in such a way, is our presence and who we are and what we represent scares so many people. And it's not even just that. When you're amongst other black people, you have to always be leery and aware. So it's the racism from the other races and the prejudice amongst your own people that you always have to always be competing. I always say it's not even alpha male stuff. It's you recognize someone else when they come in the room in their position. No one wants to be last, and everyone has to always stick their chest out and have a certain type of energy. So it's always, as black men, because we're naturally born leaders, we have to always present ourselves in that way. Like I always tell people, I smile all the time because I want you to feel comfortable. I'm not a threat. I'm only a threat when you threaten my family or something like that. But I'm not a threat. I'm your brother. I love you. I'm not here to hurt you or do anything bad to you. So that's my opinion on that question. I'm so sorry for taking up too much of your time.
No, go ahead. We having a discussion. It's all right.
I'm just, Brother Damien.
You good? Vince, you had something to say about that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, there's several situations that I've had. I don't talk about a lot of them, but my dad always remind me of the one when he was working in, we call it the Deuce here in Chicago, 51st and Wentworth, CPD. And I must have been maybe 3 or 4. And I asked to go get some water. And he said, well, go downstairs. And then I came back upstairs. And I vaguely remember, but I remember somewhat of it. And this is, imagine 3, 4, maybe about to be 5. And a white cop mentions to me, or a Caucasian cop says to me, what you doing down here, little nigga? And I was getting water. And it scared the Jesus out of me. So I was like, oh, well, man, I remember going and telling him, and him basically almost losing his job. And this is, he tells it so well. I knew it happening, but it was like, yeah. So, and from there on, just, like I said earlier, leaving the house to go to the gym, got a hoodie on, driving on the expressway, and you got the police car pulling up with the lights on, and you pulling over, and he keep going. You're like, why am I nervous? Yeah. All my bills are paid. I don't have no warrants. I don't have any tickets. Why am I worried as a black man to see those lights coming behind me? And he was actually just getting off the expressway. So
yeah.
Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's that constant worry about how you're showing up, how you're going to be perceived. Are you doing the right thing, or are your actions going to be interpreted a certain way? For me, it always goes, I don't know, back to an incident I had in a grocery store maybe a year ago where, I was just kind of minding my own business, and I was pulling my buggy behind a couple, and this couple's purse just so happened to still be in their buggy, but their back was turned to it. They saw me walking behind them, and both of the man and the woman in sync turned to grab the purse to make sure that it was secure, because they assumed that I was walking behind them to steal something out of it. And it definitely did something for me. Especially knowing how far we have come. And I'm speaking about the 3 brothers here, like to get to the level of education that we have, and to still be looked and treated that way. And it's like, damn, what else do I have to do?
Yeah.
You don't know anything about me, but you just assume that I'm going to show up a certain way. Just kind of lost faith in humanity. It's like, regardless of how good of a person you are, how you show up, the level of education that you have, this skin color is going to trump everything. Yeah. And that's the only thing that people are going to ever see.
Yeah. Why do you think that people fear black men? Black people, well, we're talking about black men. Why do you think they fear black men?
The media. Media does it. If you wake up every morning and you see another young black male have done this or ran up on, we just had an incident which and where I live, about maybe a half a mile, we're trying to rebuild the Chatham area, and how Bourbon Street has their flow, Bill Street, of course, in Chicago, we call it Lincoln Park area. They have the clubs and they, foodery and all of that stuff. Two guys, I don't know, they have no explanation to why they did it, but shot 10 people. 10 people got shot, one died. The week before, it was almost 2,000, maybe a little over 2,000 people out there. Nobody got shot. No crime. My boy even bragged about it when he came to work. He said, look, bro, it was amazing just to see us out there kicking it, talking, laughing, music playing, cigar smoking, just enjoying each other. And the next week, somebody gets shot. So it's just one of those things, man. You don't understand it, but yeah.
I think part of the answer to that question too about why is, our our successes and our achievements aren't acknowledged nearly as much as our failures. And speaking more for Black men, right? And people's interactions with us, they remember the negative ones a whole lot more than they remember the neutral or positive ones. And so I think people have this image in their head about Black men just because those negative experiences just kind of stand out a little bit more, right? So if you have a positive interaction with a Black male, like that doesn't go into, or a person doesn't incorporate that into their image of what it means to be a Black male, versus if they have a negative interaction, they say, see, I told you, that's just kind of how they are. And I just remember that a whole lot more than those other interactions.
Vince said it best. The media portrays us to be these animals and make us out to be bad guys. And that's not really the fact. It's a small percentage of people that do certain things. And unfortunately, the media also creates copycats. So people will see something and try to emulate the same thing or do something that they shouldn't do. And it's like, it's hard. It's like, and Vince, I'm so sorry, I make a mistake. Dr. Akins said it best. Our successes and how our greatness is never magnified, it's minimized. And one thing bad will happen and they'll blow it up to be something that it's not. If you look at school shootings, I haven't seen any Black kids have a school shooting. The domestic terrorism, that's not people of color, and it's not no Black men. And it's just like they don't magnify white on white crime, which is different compared to Black on Black crime. Our crimes are sometimes out of survival and trying to have the upper hand and just trying to survive. And I'm not glorifying or justifying what we do when we do wrong, but it's not because we can or we have to. Privilege allows them to get away with a whole lot more than it allows us to get away with.
Absolutely. I have to agree with you gentlemen. Definitely. I don't know what it feels like. I mean, coming from my end, like I said before, being a Black woman, that's heavy. I mean, for you guys to express that, that's even heavier, so because I care for the Black man, because, they don't talk about in history, we were kings and queens. We'll never, they'll never display that or, justify that that's who we are, and that's the sad part about it. And I want to go back into time. What are your thoughts on the state of the Black man today? I know during slavery, do you feel as though it shaped our mindset and our behavior, and the behavior of the Black man?
Yeah, it has. Sorry for cutting you brothers off. Please forgive me. It has shaped us because we're fighting to survive. And it's like, it's created the division between us and Black women. And like, we can't survive without you and you can't survive without us. And it has us at odds where we hate each other. And if you're pointing the finger and blaming each other for what it is and what's going on. We may not be best of terms, but there's things that have been created to have us at this way. So racism is, not racism, I'm sorry, slavery has played a big impact because we're trying to undo 400 years of it. And it can't happen overnight, but and it goes back to no one wants to be on the bottom of the pile. And it's like we're fighting each other instead of fighting the system and fighting the condition that we live in, which is unfortunate. because we can't progress and we can't build together if we're fighting each other instead of fighting on the things that impact us.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you...
Yeah, I would have to absolutely agree with that. And I think about just intergenerational trauma and how trauma is passed down across generations. And, you know, slavery wasn't that long ago. And we are still absolutely, you know, experiencing the mental health effects of it. I think about just what it would be like to constantly be in fight or flight mode and survival mode, and how that reinforces certain behaviors, and how those behaviors are passed down across generations. And so we're kind of constantly in this looking out for danger, constantly looking out for what could potentially hurt me, constantly looking out for what's going to take food out of my family's mouth. And I think that, you know, that shows up with anger. I think that shows up with irritability. I think it shows up with anxiety. And again, you know, I know you'll probably get to this question, but I think that's also what makes it difficult for us as a Black man to talk about what's going on with us, because I think a lot of our anger, irritability stems from anxiety, and it's hard to admit and acknowledge and accept that we get anxious, right?
Yeah.
I think that's admitting weakness, and that's just not what we do.
Right. Doctor, you just went on ahead and you did. Scratch that question out. No, swear. No, go ahead, Vince.
Hey, listen, I mean, what do you want me to say? You want me to get an offering plate?
Right.
No, but
we ready.
Amazing. You guys are amazing. That was really good. I think I'll take it a step further. And Mr. Brother Damien kind of hit on telling our women, or just period, that they can survive without us. Which after the slavery, then here you come with welfare. And so now you got it where they don't need us. And so you hear it much often more now than ever. You know, of course, we're trying to build back to, hey, we need the Black man and we need the fathers. But it was a time where it was almost like you don't need us. You know, a woman can do it without us. And of course, and I'm just studying this guy, Thomas Sowell, the economist, and talks about that era when that welfare came, and it almost just tried to eliminate the Black male.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things. So, but slavery played a significant part in starting it, and then it just kept going. It was okay, well, because he talks about the Black family was not necessarily destroyed even during slavery. But then when the Welfare Act started to come in place, it was, if the male is not there, then she gets the privilege to have the benefits of being on there. Yeah. So what is that? Indirectly eliminating the Black male after a picture. So, yeah.
That was definitely.
Let me add something to what you just said. It gives you a microcosm of what they do today. Most people don't want to go to work now because they got unemployment, and they give you a little extra couple dollars about your unemployment, so you don't ever get free money that you're gonna have to end up paying back next year when you do your taxes, instead of making your money now. Yeah. So that's what welfare did in the 60s and 70s to Black families, which is terrible and horrible. No other. I'm sorry, I go on a tangent, so please forgive me.
No, go ahead.
Through what we've gone through as a people in terms of like institutional racism, institutional prejudice, and discrimination that's meant to destroy the root and the fabric of us as a people apart. You know, the synergy of Black men and Black women has to work together. Can't go against each other. But you know, we have to be smart enough and wise enough to see this so that we could counteract that. So it's not going to be our kids that this impact. It's our kids that's going to impact. And it's like, I got to tell people, I don't work for me. I work for the kids that could possibly hurt my kid, and put the seeds of what they can do differently in their head so they can teach somebody else.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. I'll ramble, so please forgive me.
No, it's okay. It's all right, Damon. It's an open floor discussion. You know, I just like to hear from Black men, you know, yeah, they definitely in the 60s and 70s, like, oh, you know, and that created in Black women, oh, we can do it. We don't need the man. No, I'm not saying that per se, you know what I'm saying? But no, I ain't gonna say that. But I'm just saying, like, but no, that created that image and that complex, like, okay, well, I don't need a man. And then now, women are leading in, businesses. They have their own everything, and kind of like it's still kind of like the same thing. They're X'd out. Okay, well, I don't need a man, and I'm just like, well, who raised y'all? But I just, that's my own little humor. But yeah, but definitely, the black man is so important and so needed, but it was designed to be that way, so the black man can be extinct, pretty much. So Dr. A, he definitely touched on that generational trauma that has been passed down from slavery up until now. Do you feel as though we passed throughout slavery aggression? Like just say for example, I know my dad, he was like, hey, I don't know, he raised me I was a tomboy, but he was like, suck it up. We don't cry. And I'm just like, oh, okay then, like I don't, and as men, just I'm a girl, at that time I was a girl, but as men, you were told to suck it up, don't cry, don't have don't have emotion. I feel as though what has transpired, are we emotionalists? We have emotionalist men these days because they don't want to, give their emotions or their feeling or be vulnerable. So I will say I don't know, Dr. Akins, you already touched on it. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the generational trauma, passing down trauma?
Yeah, I think it's again, it's a survival mechanism, and to admit weakness, to admit anxious, to admit worry. I think we look at that as a sign of weakness, and if you think again from an evolutionary perspective, it's a survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive. And I think just as Black people, and especially as Black men, we've had to show up as strong and having it together because we didn't want to be taken advantage of. And I think the suck it up mentality is a father telling their child, hey, you need to make sure that you can take care of yourself, and I don't want anybody taking advantage of you. Right. Yeah. So I think, it probably is some benefit to having you have to be able to stick it through. You have to be able to deal with stuff type of mentality. But we also need to tell our young boys that it's also okay to sit down and talk about what it is that's going on with your heart. I think that people think that, you can't be tough and you can't also have emotions. Like those two things are mutually exclusive. Like if I admit that I have anxiety, or if I admit that I have depression, that means that I'm not tough. That means that I'm not a man. Right. I don't know that that's the case. And I think that, again, more forums like this where we have Black men talking about the existence of emotions and also still showing up like Black men. I think the more that young Black boys see this, the more that they will be okay talking about and expressing their emotions and not feeling like anger is the only way that they can express what's going on with them.
Okay. Vince, you got something?
Yeah. Sure. For me, I like where we are in society as it relates to mental health and being talked about more. I mentioned it earlier. I am a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And we talk now. I hear so much about mental health. I mean, we lost some good brothers due to mental health. Some brothers that didn't have, or not even gonna say didn't have, didn't. I don't know what was going on at the time with them, but they feel that they had somebody, the brothers, either they crossed with or chapter brothers, to somebody to talk to talk them off the ledge. You know what I mean? And now because of some of these different incidents that have happened, I can see a lot of programs are being put in place for us. Strictly for us, right? And then even I'll take it a step further because I know some of you all, you all are clinical. Certified, even in Chicago Public School, they're using the social emotional learning piece, and I've bought into it. We do mindfulness in the class with the kids. I sit right there, do the same. I got my eyes closed. I understand now. Like at one time it seemed like it was, y'all just this somebody got some more money. They trying to, but these kids go through, and young Black boys go through a lot. I know they go through more than what I went through as a young black boy. I can't say no more. Or y'all ain't going through nothing. I can't say that. I don't know what. Well, I know what their living conditions are just seeing as far as our school environment. So I can imagine their blocks, right? I can imagine their apartment buildings or their cars, wherever, the playgrounds. It's not the same. You know, they dodging bullets. We wasn't dodging bullets. So, you know, that's one thing that I'm enjoying seeing the mental health piece coming together for us as African American black men. So,
yeah.
Mental health is key, and because once you can understand and control your emotions, you can that's half the battle. And like Dr. Akins said, you don't realize how much anxiety you go through until later on and you understand it more. And when you realize, oh wow, that's why that happened. Oh, this is why this is that. And it's like, but it's environmentally, you can't show that soft side of you because people try to take advantage of you. And it's like you're a lamb in a den of wolves. So you hold it in. But as you repress all those emotions, it has to come out some way or another. You'll come out through behaviors, substance abuse, negative relationships and stuff like that. It's bad. And I always tell people I'm strongest because I can express my emotions and I'm not afraid to cry or let you know, yo, I didn't like what you said to me and I hurt my feelings, or I feel some type of way about this, or I feel some type of way at that. I'm stronger at that because I can do that. But it took me a long time to get to that point where I didn't get upset or felt impacted. I couldn't share what I was experiencing, what I went through, and what I'm going through, and how it impacts me. So once we get comfortable with that, we can progress. We can help young men progress into this and become the individuals that they're supposed to become. Because when you hold all that stuff in, that's why I said the prison systems for youth have a bunch of kids with undiagnosed mental health issues. And if they were able to talk about why they was upset or why this was impacting them, they wouldn't have picked up that gun or picked up that knife or picked up that bat and reacted the way they reacted. So we have to educate them as early as elementary school and middle school before they start to develop these behaviors where they have to be outside in the environment and react, because I can't be on 16th Street and be sensitive and soft. I got to react a certain way. So if we teach them early, we won't have to worry about that later. You know, emotionally strong is the best way to be.
Yeah, definitely. You guys hit on majority of the questions that I that I got on this little pad thing. But like what could we do to help the next generation? And you definitely said, be able to mentorship, be able to express emotions. If you have children, sometimes we gotta apologize to our children, like, hey, I'm sorry, and say we wrong, and I think showing that and displaying that type of behavior as far as like when you're wrong or admitting when you're wrong. I know when I do that with my daughter, like, hey, look, mommy, sorry, forgive me, and I think she can appreciate that even more, because it's like, okay, and mommies can be wrong, not all the time, I'm not wrong, but but I just think that showing that emotion, I think, especially our black boys, they need to see the model, they need to see the example. How can we encourage and promote mental health in the Black community?
I think exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Like making connections with other people in the field. I haven't talked to Vince or Damon prior to this, but I now have another connection with somebody in the Black male community. And, as we continue to talk and as we continue to meet and as we continue to expand that our social circle, we'll reach more and more people. And, I know now if I have somebody in Chicago and they just need somebody that, they just need to talk to us, I can say, well, no, this guy Vince that, I did the talk with one time, maybe you can meet with him, and so I think, exactly what you're doing right now, just making sure that people who appreciate and have knowledge in the mental health area are able to sit down and have these types of conversations.
Yeah, definitely.
And David, I forgot where you at. I would have used you as an example too.
New York, Brooklyn, it's all love. It's all love.
I think, and I agree with you, Dr. A. Educating people about mental health, just you guys being clinically trained, just educating us. I'm not clinically trained, just from my experiences, and just being able to, train, as I was mentioning earlier about the social emotional piece. They have several areas that you touch on that you didn't realize that a lot of our kids lack, just being able to, not quit, right? Being responsible, problem solving, conflict resolution, respect to others, empathy, so many, and they broke it down so eloquently that you really can just say, hey, I can focus on this for a month, just literally just teaching that portion, just empathy, and you just do several activities, and then they can, so that's just a matter, I think, like I said, educating our people on what it is mental health really is, and it's not that we're crazy, whatever. You know how we think negative about having a therapist or having someone to talk to, right? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, like, and I'm be honest, I know y'all probably already know. I have one too. I talked to quite a few, and I'm like, because it's a lot, it's a lot as an African American man. You don't want to give up, And me, I didn't mention earlier, I'm in a doctoral program, and I'm literally chapter 2, waiting for chapter 1 to be approved. I'm going crazy. I said, let me call some. There's, you like, why am I working this? And, but I understand. So when I had that talk and conversation yesterday, I felt better. Right? I felt better. If I'd held that in, who knows, what I did. I'm out, but yeah, just understanding the education behind mental health is important for all our people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They answered it, so I'm just going to piggyback on everything they said. Having forums like this, where they can see someone that looks like them, could educate them on their mental health. Because, like I always tell people, unfortunately, I'll always have a job because I'm a Black male social worker, and there's not too many that look like me that do this work.
Yeah,
and so parents request a male social worker for their sons. And some women want a Black male social worker. So and I'm authentic in my approach, and I'm authentic in my experiences. So, and as a social worker, you're authentic. People respect you, and they can understand. They'll open up with you. Unfortunately, they'll tell you stuff that you don't want to hear. But it's like they have to see that out there so they can know it's out there for them. And like I tell kids all the time, you can talk to your friends, but when you have a falling out with your friend, they'll throw it in your face. I can't throw it in your face, and I never will throw it in your face. So having someone that you could talk to is important, and you got to be willing to share.
Yeah. I think that's so important as well. What are some self-care tips for men that you can, get to the fellas? What's some self-care?
That's not your bag to carry, because you sometimes will carry an emotional load that's not ours to carry, because we feel that as a man, you're supposed to do this, and supposed to do this, and supposed to do that. You have to be strong. Sometimes your strength is in being weak, and allow yourself to be weak, and allow yourself a chance to exhale and catch your breath and bounce back up. And you got to take time for yourself. If you don't, I'm terrible at self-care, so I just want you to understand that.
Okay.
So, but I can talk about it and teach it, but I don't follow it because I feel like I have to save everybody. But I know I can't save everybody, but I still feel like I have to try. And that's my strength and weakness, but I know I can't, but I don't overextend myself like I used to. But you have to take time for yourself, because if you don't take time for yourself, you'll burn out.
Yeah.
And it's like, and talk to someone.
Yeah.
If you just call the cable person and just ramble for a few minutes, talk to them. They don't know you. They're not going to throw it in your face. And you repeat it, because they're like this. I don't even know this guy. He's from New York somewhere. And you call Kansas. So it's like that. But you have to always talk to someone. And then someone that you don't have to worry about throwing it back up in your face, because it's important.
Yeah. Okay.
Brother Damien, man, you said it. Talk to someone. I had so much other stuff. Oh yeah, go do this. Take time for yourself, which you already said, but talk to someone. I just mentioned earlier about several frat brothers that I either had acquaintance with or saw that's no longer here. And first thing I think about is what you just said.
Yeah.
Couldn't talk to nobody, like, and you feel so bad. So then now, like you said, talk to the dog. I mean, talk to somebody. Get out.
You understand?
I mean, just talk. Just talk. That's man. I couldn't have said it better, man. Talk to somebody. Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think while you're talking to that person, being able to talk to them about what it is that you need from that conversation, so when you talk about self-care, is it that you just need for somebody to hear you, or do I need help and feedback on how to manage this stressor that I have going on, or do I need somebody to help me problem solve this issue? So being able to talk about exactly what it is that you're wanting, and maybe having that person help to explore things that they know you enjoy that might help with whatever stress you're going through in that moment.
Absolutely.
And the dogs definitely understand when you talk to them.
They do. I be talking to them regularly. I'm like, no, come sit down there. They understand. No, definitely having that talk and having a therapist, just having someone to listen to you. Like you said, Dr. A, that, if I need some opinion, if I need your opinion, or I just need you to listen. Because sometimes you just need to air out your thoughts and your feelings, what you feel. And I think another good tip will be, journaling. I don't know if people write, in your journal. Men, they, you guys can write in your journal too. Get you a leather journal, look nice, you know what I'm saying? Get that. Anyway, but yeah, I think just and connecting with other brothers, on the same level, and connecting, and it might be somebody that's going through the same or went through the same thing as you. So I just think that connection and having that conversation is definitely important. I was trying to see if we had any questions.
Another that kind of came to me too is, and I have this problem as well, is stop working, right? And I've been doing better lately, just disconnecting work. I know, but then it was like, I try, and because I love playing piano, or but it is part of my work.
Yeah.
So how do I make that be not work, right? So because it just turns to work all the time. You know what I mean? So like, what else could I do? So, of course, go play golf or something like that. Whatever the case, go walking, do stuff. I just do stuff I've never done, like walk, or just sit and just listen to the wind. I mean, whatever the case may be, but disconnecting from work has really been a help for me. Just disconnecting. Like I said to myself, this summer, I'm not working for Chicago Public School. I turn my email off after the 22nd of June, and I will turn it back on the second week of August. So
I know that's right. I think disconnecting is a great thing. When you disconnect, you kind of like can reset. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I had to reset. I cut everything off. Put the candles on, sit on the floor, and write. I think just the reset. And when you reset, you kind of refocus on what you need to do, and different strategies, and and don't be afraid to tell people no, I can't do this. I understand y'all Superman, but y'all can say no. I'd rather you say no than you say yes and then be resentful, be like, I shouldn't have done. Here we go again. You don't want that. So and I just came to as far as a realization to myself, and I was like, I'm quit saying no. I'm gonna keep saying no. If that's for my mental health, I'm gonna keep saying it. Definitely disconnect. And if it's something that I don't want to do, I'm not gonna do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if people, and here's where the boundaries come in. Black men, y'all need to set boundaries too. That's what anything with work. just everything. You need to set boundaries. What can, as far as the black men, what can black women do to support the black man?
You said it already. Listen to us. Yeah, I'm not going. I'm like, that's so simple. I don't just need you to hear me. I need you to feel me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm saying it to you, it's authentic, and I feel something about this issue. I need you to understand why I'm saying it to you, and I'm not your enemy. And like, we're fighting the battle outside already. I don't want to come home and fight another war. So work with me, so I can work with you, so we can work on this together. Right. So just hear us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to hear you.
I think another one is not being afraid of both parties to be vulnerable to, like you said earlier, to your daughter, being able to say, "Hey, I don't understand, or I don't know," right? Or, "Yeah, this your lead. You take the lead. Okay, I take the lead." And the part of the problem for black men and periods, you get that you the man and you got to take the lead. Or that case, you might have a woman that actually can take the lead in some stuff, right? And be secure about yourself as a man.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't want to hear that. But I mean, again, once again, this is my opinion, right? Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to, agree to disagree. It's okay to take down. It's okay to just do the Bill Cosby, do the hand like this. I don't know.
But, Dr. A?
I was going to say, I've been single for like 2 years. I don't know that I can appropriately speak on this topic, but I will try my best. I think validation goes a long way. So, being able to, again, like Damon said, hear what we're saying and then understand where we're coming from. You might not agree with it. You might have a different view from your perspective, but being able to say, oh, I get why you feel like that, or I get why you did that, or I get why you might think that, just helps us to feel more secure in our emotions and helps us to feel a little bit more comfortable coming to you and talking about what it is that we're going through. Because if we're met with, oh, well, you shouldn't feel that way, or you shouldn't think that way, or you're wrong, we're just going to hold it in because we know that you're not going to hear us and you're not going to feel where we're coming from. And so just being able to say, even if you think we're absolutely wrong, say, okay, I understand why it is that you feel that way, or it makes sense why you feel that way, will go a long way for us being more comfortable opening up.
Okay. You did good. Good. All right. But no, I get what you're saying. I think more of listening, more than anything, listening and hearing what you say, what you're saying, what the brother saying. That means everything. And also being a cheerleader, like, hey, come on, move it. Let's get, if it's for a black woman to, it's like a train, right? You got the coal, the old school train. You got the coal. You got to put the coal in the fire. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just old school myself. Mom never raised me like that. You got to put some work in too. Be that support system and be that light. Especially like you said, you don't want to have war at home. What would you tell the next generation? What would be your advice, or what would be your motto for the next generation as a black man?
I could start there.
Okay.
The black man, well, I'll go back to what Brother Damien said. We're not the enemy. We're here. We're here to help, right? We're here to listen, right? It's a twofold, right? I want to hear what you feeling, or how you perceive whatever's going on, or what do you need from me, and I want you to hear me out. Give and take. A lot of times in education, we run into a problem where kids don't really want to listen, and they're very stubborn in a lot of ways, and that could just be the nature of the youth today, right? And I see it on all levels, not just in working in the school, but just period. Even the 18, 19-year-olds, the one that's going to college, they are very strong-minded. Like one of my coworkers said, the type of kids we have now, they will walk off a job and say, "I'll do the job because you can hire me somewhere else." Like that kind of. I was like, "Ooh, this is tough."
They fearless, Vince. They fearless. Like listen, they fearless. They do not.
But I love them, because I learned so much. They teach me a lot about, what they like and the new lingo. And, I'm still behind. I think I'll be still saying fleet, guys they well but being able to, give and take, we here, like, we're not going nowhere. We got you, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made. That's the bottom line. I want to be able to let you know, hey, the fire is hot, right? I'm telling you, but you go put your hand on there, and it's gonna be hot too. But I just want you to know it is hot. So that flame that you see, don't touch. You know what I mean? So that's just my little 2 cents.
Definitely.
I think for me, what I would tell the next generation would be to be confident in your uniqueness. I think Damon used the word unicorn earlier, and I think that kind of referencing back to our conversation about boxes. Anytime we step outside of this box, we become unique, and whenever we set ourselves apart, there is you set yourself apart from everybody else, and you stand out a little bit more. And I think people are scared of standing out, when in reality, that is that's something that's valuable. That's something that people are looking for. I'm a black male child psychologist. There's probably like 3 of us in the entire United States. And so, I can look at that 2 different ways. I can say, well, there's not a whole lot of us. So why did I do this? Why did I go into this profession? Or I can say, I am a hot commodity, and people are going to be out there looking for black male child psychologists. And there's value in that. And so just being able to look at how you step outside of the box, and being able to look at that as a benefit and something that is valuable, rather than something that is that's not.
Damon, big chick, the
chicken. I always look at the big piece of chicken. But, gotta have the big piece of chicken. I tell, like, when I worked in the school, I always tell these kids all the time, pain is a much better teacher than I am. I'm not going to tell you not to do something, but I'm going to tell you the consequences behind your actions. And so I always tell them, you're going to hit your head one time, and you're going to realize you don't like the way that feels. Don't keep hitting your head. So pain is not, don't let pain be the one that has to keep teaching you. Learn from their first mistake. And they're not afraid to die. They're afraid to live. Don't be afraid to live. You could be anything you want to be, and you don't have to follow the path or everybody else's path, and do what you want. I tell people, I wear bow ties, and I'm not a Muslim. I had bacon this morning, to tell you the truth. So this is my uniform. And it's important. And I got 100 of these. But that's my lane. I chose that lane for me. I want to do something nobody else was doing. This is me. And unfortunately, I may have one black male social worker friend, because he was an internship at the job, and we stayed friends 5, 6 years, 7, 8 years later. But there's not too many people who are like me. So I have female social work friends, but it's hard for me to be their friend, because I'm a man and they're a woman, and I don't want them to feel the wrong way or feel anything, no pressure. So never be afraid to go outside your box and be friends with other people, like Dr. Jamari Akins said, and go outside your box and make friends with everybody you can make friends with, because they're doing something different. Learn that. And it's just like, allow yourself to be, my favorite slogan, allow yourself to be great. Don't just pigeonhole yourself, but allow yourself just to be stuck. Allow yourself to be great.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you so much, gentlemen. I really, really appreciate it. Your knowledge.
We appreciate you.
Getting this platform. Thank you for saying yes. And everybody inbox like, hey, what you doing on this day? Let's get it right. Yeah, but I want to normalize mental health for everybody, especially for the black man, because you are valuable. You are important. You're kings. I just want to promote that, because there's so much negative energy and a negative force, coming against the black man. But, I'm here, what I'm saying, 10 toes down, I got you, what I'm saying. I come out with the machete, what I'm saying. But thank you so much. I want to say, thank you. And everybody that tuned in, we've been on here for 55 minutes. in 26 seconds. But I want to say thank you so much. And everybody tune in. Oh, I'm not doing it next week because it's Father's Day. I got to, take care of my daddy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're going to do. I bring the pop.
Give him a big piece of chicken.
Right, exactly. I don't know what he wants, but it's Father's Day, so I'm gonna take a break, and then next week I'm throwing Social Work Sunday Tea. We'll be 1 year old. I'll be 1 year old.
Congratulations!
Thank you. We having a party. So on the 27th, I'm gonna go live there, and get it cracking. So I want to say thank you. Thank you, and thank you for everybody that tuned in. I'll see you guys on the 27th. All right, thank you,
All right.
Vince, Dr. A, Damon. Thank you so much. How can people follow you or find you? No,
I'm on Instagram as Dr. Jamari. I think I handle changes so many times. I think it's Dr. Jamari now. Jamari.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram, Damon Avenger. Follow me on Facebook, Damon Avenger, Social Emotional Coach, and I think Twitter. I don't even use it as
Twitter.
Yeah, I have my professional Twitter, not my raunchy Twitter. See what you're doing?
Okay.
I had a life before this.
Professional Twitter.
Yeah, my professional Twitter, Damon, Social Emotional Coach. I think I forgot, but I don't tweet on there. You can find me on Instagram.
Find me on Instagram, well, I'm not all the time, but on Facebook, VJ Pick a Key.
Okay, cool. So thank you, everybody. We're getting off here now. So you guys have a great and productive Sunday. Till next time.
Next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.